Spider-Man Brand New Day's only been out for around 10 days, and it's already on pace to become one of the top 3 highest grossing movies ever. What's going on, guys? I'm Chris, and welcome back to another video. Today I've got a tier list ranking of all the live-action Spider-Man films, along with the Spider-Verse movies, and Sony's Spider-Man universe that never even shows Spider-Man. I don't know why that existed. But I got my tier list right here, S through F. I've got all the movies lined up, and I'm going to hop right in. Before I do, hit that like button. Comment down below your ranking of all the Spider-Man films. Where do you place Brand New Day? And, of course, subscribe and hit that notification bell to help reach my goal of 200,000 subscribers here on the channel. It will mean quite a bit. But I got my tier list, and like I said, I'm just going to jump right into this thing. So the tiers I have today are S tier, A tier, B tier, C tier, D tier, and F tier. And again, these movies are randomized. I do have Brand New Day up front because that is the newly released film. And we're just going to start with that. So I've seen this twice now, and I think I initially gave it an 8 out of 10. I'm closer to about a 7 out of 10 right now. I still really enjoyed the film. It has really high highs, especially for Tom Holland Spider-Man films. I think without a doubt, it showcases the best web swinging, the best suit. I think it's Tom Holland's best performance as Spider-Man, and that includes the Avengers films and Civil War. But when it comes down to it, I did find the movie to be lacking in certain elements that I hold to a pretty high standard for Spider-Man. One in particular would be relevant emotional action sequences. There wasn't really a single one in this movie that I look back on and I'm like, oh my gosh, that blew me away, and the stakes were so high there, where I can do that with a lot of these other live action films. So that kind of bummed me out. On top of that, I get that this is really, showing Tom as Spider-Man after all these years. He's not really got the training wheels on anymore, but you still have a lot of interference from other MCU characters, like Yelena, who's in a couple scenes, or Hulk, or Punisher. Don't get me wrong, I think him and Frank Castle's dynamic is one of the best elements of the film. Had me laughing out loud. I liked how they were kind of like buddy copping it for a bit there. But at the end of the day, this movie, to me, focuses way too much on launching the future of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. The next saga after the multiverse saga is going to be the Mutant Saga, which, of course, focuses on the X-Men. And spoilers ahead for Brand New Day, you've been warned, Jean Grey is in this film, played by Sadie Sink, and a lot of the movie, especially in the third act, focuses on her and Peter. I just didn't buy into that the way I would hope, because this is a Spider-Man film. So I kind of actually don't understand a common talking point about how this is like finally a Spider-Man movie. Like, yeah, No Way Home and Homecoming are also Spider-Man films, so it's Far From Home, and he goes through his own trials and tribulations as Spider-Man, overcoming adversity there. But I just don't think this movie's as like purely solo Spider-Man as people are making it out to be. So I enjoy the movie. The Tame Impala Loser Needle Drop was hype, and there are moments to really appreciate, but I don't hold this movie as high as a lot of other on the internet are right now. I'm going B tier with it. It's got a lot of elements to really enjoy. Again, still a very solid Spider-Man film, but there are better from Tom Holland and better from other Spider-Man as well. So that's kind of where I'm at with it right now. It's going to make like $2.5 billion, and I will say, I'm kind of shocked. I expected the movie to join the $1 billion club easily, but I am shocked that it could go down as like the 3rd highest grossing movie ever, and I actually can't even fathom it, really. Next, we have Spider-Man 3, which gets a lot of hate. The big problem with Spider-Man 3 is there was clear studio interference trying to throw in a bunch of villains. You had Sandman. You had Harry Osborn as like a pseudo-villain for a bit there, and then you also had Venom, and that's really where the studio interference kicked in. I think Sandman being the sole villain of the film would have made it 10 times better. At the end of the day, it's the most memorable Spider-Man film, super quotable, but you do have a pretty solid, strong, emotional moment of redemption. There's a whole message about forgiveness and redemption in the film. So I would say for me, it's still B tier, but I actually, as of right now, I would watch it over Brand New Day. I don't know where I ranked it. I did a short, probably like 10 days ago now. I would rank Spider-Man 3 in terms of enjoyability and rewatchability for me over Brand New Day, and I genuinely don't care what anyone else has to say about this because it's just how I feel, so we're rocking with it. Next we have Venom. I would say Venom by default is like the best of the Sony Spider-Man films, the villain spinoffs that is. I'm going D tier. I still think it's bad, but it's like the most watchable of all of those. It's very generic by the numbers. There are fun elements, but it's really lackluster and underwhelming when you go back and revisit it. So D tier. The others I don't have really nice things to say about at all. Then we got Spider-Man. This is the first film from the Sam Raimi trilogy. To me, this is a perfect origin story. Sam Raimi's directorial style shines. It brings the film to life. It is so comic book to me. When I think of a comic movie, this comes to mind, from Danny Elfman's score to just the way Sam Raimi has these quick cuts and zooms. Everything about it is Spider-Man. Willem Dafoe's Green Goblin is not only iconic, but truly a menace. You can quote the hell out of the movie, but this is like the Spider-Man movie to me. Genuinely. It's one of my favorite comic movies ever. It's S tier. I think the OG Spider-Man is S tier. Dafoe's Goblin carries a lot of weight here, much like how Ledger's Joker does in Dark Knight. But Tobey as Spider-Man is vintage. It's classic. I have a lot of nostalgia for the film, sure, but I can also remove that and say, this is an origin story done right. It gave us, with great power comes great responsibility. I think it has the best Uncle Ben in any Spider-Man films, and the other two iterations of Spidey were trying to chase the origin of this film. Like, it set the precedent and the bar so high for how a Spider-Man movie should kickstart with an origin that Chasm tried to reheat it a bit, and they didn't even attempt to reach that level with the Tom Holland film. So I think it is S tier all day for me. It's probably my favorite Spider-Man movie, honestly. Then we got Chasm 2. I'm going C tier with it. I think that it is still, contains some of the highest highs of any Spider-Man film. I think it still has the best web swinging. It has an incredible Hans Zimmer score, and even the scene like in Times Square where Peter saves the people from electricity, that is Spider-Man. It contains the best on-screen Spider-Man romance by far with Gwen and Peter. That is because Andrew Garfield and Emma Stone had off-the-charts chemistry. You buy in, you feel that genuine heartbreak. I even get emotional when Peter's playing back Gwen's speech at the end of the film. It's so triumphant, but also heartbreaking at the same time. It, again, has some of the highest highs of any Spider-Man film, but then you go, man, Sony really got in their own way here as they were trying to set up Sinister Six. Electro, Green Goblin, too many villains. Rhino showing up. It's got the Spider-Man 3 problem, and we've seen that happen with a lot of Spider-Man films at this point, unfortunately, so I go C tier with it. Again, I adore elements of this. I think it's totally watchable and enjoyable. It is not bad. I think of the live-action Spidey, it's probably the weakest, but that is not a real shot at the movie, because I am of the opinion there is no bad live-action Spider-Man film. That obviously excludes the stinkers from the Sony Spider-Man villainverse, which we're going to talk about more right now. I can't wait. Venom 3. I fell asleep watching this one in the theater. I was in and out, head bobbing. It's completely forgettable. The needle drop to end it is laughable, and I hope this killed the Venom films, F tier. Then we have Chasm 1, which I actually quite enjoy. I feel like this gets the short end of the stick often for some reason. Yeah, it's not as good as Raimi's first film, but Andrew is Spider-Man. He's got the quips. There's a moment where he's like in the backseat of a car and he's just like quipping. I'm like, that is 100% Spider-Man brought to life. He is Spider-Man to me. I adore Andrew Garfield in this role. We'll talk more about him later in this video when we get to a certain film, but I can't get enough of him as Spider-Man. Even as Peter, I think he portrays that sort of loneliness and angst very well. It's a unique take on him when compared to Tobey. So I actually enjoy this one more than Chasm 2. I would put Chasm 1 like right here in B tier. I still enjoy it. Yeah, Lizard is probably the weakest link. Villain isn't the most memorable, it's a bit generic, but I can't get enough of Peter and Gwen's relationship and the coming of age feel. Even the needle drops in this movie, I'm like, yeah, that is Spider-Man. I appreciate the newer take on it. Then we have Kraven the Hunter. Movie's a complete mess. The ADR is all over the place. Sometimes it looks like actors aren't even talking to each other, and the visuals are just, it is like the epitome of how bad these Sony movies are. I think it's also F tier, and the order of what's in F tier doesn't even matter because they're all throwaway. Then we have Spider-Man No Way Home, which is the ultimate Spider-Man movie. It might not be the number one for me right now, but I think it is the ultimate Spider-Man movie. It has something for everyone. You get all three live-action Spideys swinging on screen together. It's really an event. It was. I saw it, I think, 5 times in theaters. That is still the record for the most times I've gone to the theater for a single movie. It's S tier. I still have the OG Spidey over it. I've kind of learned that I just adore that movie. There's no changing it. It's my opinion. That's how I feel. But No Way Home is electric. You get, obviously, the return of Dafoe as Goblin, the return of Alfred Molina as Doc Ock, but there's just so much meat on the bone here, especially if you're just looking at it as a Tom Holland Spider-Man film. It's really the first time in the MCU that he experiences real loss. He loses Aunt May. He's in hell. He has to climb out of that pit. It's very Dark Knight Rises in that sense. And the other people who bring him up from the ashes are himself from another universe. You got Tobey and Andrew who come in and they're like, hey man, we've been there. We've been in this low point. They can relate to him and they all have this bonding experience. And then they go and they, have their Spider-Man moment. They swing in, they fight all the villains. Like, that is Spider-Man to me. There's so much hope in this film. I just can't get enough of it. Like, yeah, at a surface level, you could just say, well, you only like it because it has all the Spideys. Sure, who wouldn't? But I think there's so much to unpeel beneath that. Even the sacrifice Spider-Man makes in the end of the film, like he makes the ultimate sacrifice at the end where he's like, hey, I am going to lose basically the love of my life, and I'm going to lose my best friend, but it's what I have to do because I'm Spider-Man. Because I wear this mask, I have to basically bear that burden so that everyone else can be safe and for the greater good. It is like what Spider-Man's all about. So I just think that it is a beautiful film. It's S-tier Spidey to me. Then we got Spider-Man 2, which again is S-tier Spidey. These are the top 3 for me. So I'm going to put this right here. I'd say right now, I would go No Way Home over it. That's very thin, in my opinion. Like, there's not a big gap between these movies. Spider-Man 2 gives us probably the best Spider-Man action sequence with the train scene and Doc Ock. Obviously, the whole fight's awesome, but Spidey has to save the day and then ultimately gets unmasked, and it's New York City, the people that lift him up, and they're like, we got you, Spidey. This movie, more than any other Spider-Man film, utilizes the city of New York as a location, but also the citizens more than any Spider-Man movie. New York City is a character in this film, and that's what Spider-Man's kind of all about to me. So I love how he has to overcome a lot in this film. He loses his powers for a bit. He's very down in the dumps, but he ultimately rises up in the end when he's needed most. And so to me, this is a fantastic follow-up to the original Raimi film. It gives us Doc Ock. The quotes are there. There are some meme moments for sure. The power of the sun in the palm of my hand. I have nothing left except Spider-Man. Like, it is a little cheesy, but that's kind of what the heart of the Raimi trilogy is. I think Spider-Man's inherently just a bit of a cheesy character, right? And I think the Raimi trilogy finds the balance of the serious, heartfelt moments with that cheesiness so well. And I adore the first two Raimi films. I even really like Spider-Man 3. Then we have Madam Web, which is awful. I don't really have much to say about that, except for the fact that it's borderline the worst movie on this list and one of the worst movies of the decade that I've personally seen in a theater. How about that? Across the Spider-Verse, we need Beyond the Spider-Verse. Can we all agree on that? The cliffhanger ending is just brutal. It's coming up on, over 3 years, probably 4 years by the time Beyond comes out. Just a brutal way to end the film, especially when it was promised only like a 10-month wait, and now I've waited all this time. So that's unfortunate, but when it comes down to it, Across the Spider-Verse is A tier for me. I'm putting it up there right now. I am not, I guess, as high on Spider-Verse as others, which is not even a bad thing. I think they're both like 9 to 9.5s. Like, they're very highly rated movies for me. I just don't hold them as high as others, and that's fine. I think that Across the Spider-Verse, moderately overhyped in the sense that I've seen this movie labeled the best comic book movie of the century. I cannot get on board with that, especially when we haven't really seen a proper resolution to the story. If Beyond comes out and Beyond delivers, then I could be like, yeah, I get it. But the coolest thing about this movie, outside of the Unreal animation, is how many Spidey variants we see. There's like this one chase sequence with like hundreds of Spider-Man variants. It propels us forward into Beyond so well. But every time I think back on this movie, I'm like, it still feels semi-incomplete to me, and I gotta see Beyond before I can have like a concrete, definitive opinion on Across the Spider-Verse. Still, highly enjoy it. Get a lot of great Spider-Gwen stuff here. The score by Daniel Pemberton, beauty. But I wish that we could just see Beyond, and then I could redo this, and I will when Beyond comes out. That's the beauty of it. So there you go. I still quite like Across the Spider-Verse. Then we have the second Venom movie, which was bad. This one was stunk. I'm going to put it right here. Just all these movies down here, just what were they thinking? What were they thinking releasing these theatrically? They should have never happened. Then we have Homecoming, which I enjoy thoroughly. I know the common complaint of Homecoming is that Spider-Man is like Iron Man Jr. He is still coming of age. He just got this awesome suit from Tony. He just helped Tony in Civil War. And so, of course, that is his mentor figure in the MCU. That's where we've gone with it. But Iron Man's hardly in the movie, and Vulture's one hell of a villain. I will never forget watching this movie in theaters and my jaw hitting the floor when Michael Keaton opens that door and he's revealed to be Liz's father. It's one of the best executed twists, period, that I've seen. It really floored me. But I do love the coming-of-age elements here. There's like Ferris Bueller nods, like classic 80s John Hughes vibes almost in a Spider-Man film. It's also the first Spider-Man movie to date in 2017 that had a really age-accurate Peter Parker. Like, he felt like a teenager. He embodied that. It was a bit smaller in scale. I still think Homecoming holds up. I would go B tier for Homecoming. I actually prefer it over A Brand New Day, if you want my honest opinion. So I would put it about right there. And I'm probably rating Spider-Man 3 a little too high right now. For the sake of this, it's probably fair if I do that. I think Homecoming is maybe a bit of a better movie, but Spider-Man 3 I think is overhated. Then we've got Far From Home. Far From Home to me is the weakest Tom Holland film. Gyllenhaal has a complete blast as Mysterio. That's no surprise, and that shows. But this movie does not really take place in New York. It lacks maybe the most of the common Spider-Man elements, right? He's in London, Europe, different places. It doesn't fully click for me. The suit's fine. Of course, you got the whole Peter Tingle moment in the end where he senses the drones. That's badass. But a lot of this movie is kind of a misdirect with the elementals. And then as you move into the reveal of Mysterio, it's like, yeah, of course Mysterio's the villain. He's Mysterio. Were they really going to make him a good guy? So it's a bit frustrating. The humor really holds this movie back, especially the character of Brad. Like, oh, there are a lot of eye roll moments with the humor. I'm going to go C tier. I would say like right neck and neck with TASM 2. Those are the bottom two live action Spider-Mans for me. And I still enjoy them. I'd watch them right now. Morbius sucks. All right, putting it right there. It's awful. It's really just abysmal. I think even Matt Smith, who plays a character in this film, was laughing at it in a recent interview, and I got a kick out of that. Then we have Into the Spider-Verse, which to me is the better of the two. Into the Spider-Verse is a complete story. It's the origin for Miles Morales. It has an unreal soundtrack. The score also hits, but you get the leap of faith scene. And I think a lot of people are very quick to forget the greatness of this movie. It was groundbreaking animation at the time. It opened the door for Across the Spider-Verse, and it's more of a streamlined, concise narrative. I've always preferred Into over Across. Honestly, I'm putting Into at the top of A. I think that there's very much a world where these two are S tier. I just got to see how Beyond brings it all to a close. Into could very well go in S for me. I just think S and A are like right there. They're both the elite tiers, so it's not really that big of a difference. It's just personal preference. These are my 3 favorite Spider-Man films. These are right there with it. Like, that's my top 5 for sure. Everything else can be, you know, reorganized, but those are clearly my top 5 Spider-Man films. So I would say Into and Across in A tier. And that doesn't mean I don't like them before you go and comment, why are they not in S tier? Like, I still think A is the 9 out of 10 range. Like, A is amazing. S tier is just like the truly special ones for me. So that's kind of why they fall there. But overall, we've never really gotten a bad Spider-Man film. These are included because they're technically Spider-Man, but they're all borderline unwatchable. But yeah, that's my tier list ranking of the Spider-Man films, including Brand New Day. Honestly, Brand New Day is not holding up for me the more I sit with it. I wish that I was on this hype wave, but I can't say that I am. But how are you guys feeling? Where would you place these Spider-Man films? Let me know in the comments down below. Hit that like button, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and be on the lookout for more videos coming very soon. But thank you guys, as always, for watching, and until next time, I'll see you guys later.